Welcome back, everyone. You know, one of the great things about having Look TV is we find out about all these wonderful organizations in our viewing area. And we got wind of one a couple of weeks ago through a friend of mine, and it really went directly to my heart because this organization is called PLAN, P-L-A-N. And joining me today is the executive director, who is Maria Trabka.
Hi, Jesse.
Hello.
How are you?
Trabka, I grew up in a town with a lot of Polish people.
Uh-huh.
What does Trabka mean? It's a musical instrument, right?
Trumka.
Trumka.
Trumpet, yes, exactly.
Well, that's great. Well, here you are, blowing your own horn. This is fantastic. All right, so what does PLAN stand for?
It stands for Preserving Land and Nature.
Right. Well, now you can tell why this one I love, because that's the whole idea of preserving and conserving the land around us is seriously important, right?
That's right. That's
I know.
Right.
Okay, so look, let's go in and talk a little bit. Before we went on air today, Maria said to me there's a real difference between preserving and conserving. So let's tell our viewers what that difference is.
Well, preserving implies that it's static. It's going to stay the same forever. And whether it's a wild area or a farm, it's not going to stay the same forever. Things change. Ecologically, they change. On a farm, they have to adapt to new markets and new products. And so conserving means that it will never be developed.
Right.
It will always be available for farming or available for wildlife habitat or water resource protection, but it won't always stay the same.
Got you. Now, you were saying that in terms of conserving, you just mentioned farms, so we know that there's farms and farmland involved, but also there are other things that you have your eye on, right?
That's right. Wildlife habitats, water resource protection, both groundwater and surface waters, and also building a trail system throughout the county for both transportation and for recreation both.
Oh, that's great. Projects that you're currently working on?
We're currently working on conserving a number of farms. We have applied for funding from some private foundations and some government programs in order to provide some compensation to the farmland owners so that it will always stay in farming and they can get some equity out of their land and help to transfer it on to the next generation of farmers. And we're involved with another group on the Hudson Valley. All the land trusts up and down the Hudson Valley have gotten together. We've set up a FarmLink network, and we have a website called Farmland Finder, where people who are looking for farmers to either lease or buy their land, or farmers who are looking for their land, it's a matching service. They can help find each other for the right piece of land.
Boy, what a terrific cause. In terms of natural resources, I always call it the McGregor Mountain, right? If you're driving up Northway or Route 9, you'll notice on your left-hand side, if you're heading north, is this beautiful little range, but it's not called McGregor Mountain. What is it called?
It's called the Palmertown Range.
Okay.
And that is an area that we would like to focus more conservation, and a lot of landowners up there are interested. We also have a lot of conservation partners who are interested, both private and public, in partnering with us to conserve this area. It's a wild area. It's close to Saratoga Springs and Glens Falls. Beautiful wetlands, ravines, crevices, you know, and the source water for both the Cateros and the Snook-Kill. So it has a lot of opportunity, we think, to exist as a working timberland that is compatible with recreation. And so it has a lot of potential for a lot of people to be able to enjoy it and to make a living off of it.
You know, you just mentioned something that, that I think is important to note here. This is, and I'm going to use the wrong word, right, tree huggers, isn't he, right?
Okay.
But the whole idea that, oh no, you don't touch it and whatever, but you actually come up with solutions to help people manage the property. Right?
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. I mean, I think that a lot of land, people have to make a living off of the land, and to be able to sustain the landscape at the same time, they have to be able to extract some resources from it. But meanwhile, that landscape is still providing clean air and clean
right.
water and recreational opportunities and wildlife habitat and keeping our taxes low. And, you know, it's a tremendous package. And we need to appreciate it as a society that that's where our food and our water and our air and all the things that we depend on comes from the land. And so, but people do need to be able to still make a living off of it.
Sure, and I think it's that balance that you're striking between the landowners or the mountain ridge that you might be looking to preserve, to just strike that sort of balance. So it isn't just anti-development or something like that. It really is a way to say, look, we have a beautiful natural resource here. Let's make it work.
That's right.
You know?
And it will attract economic development of other, I mean, we have the
That's right.
Northway up through the middle of our county, so we're primed for development. And we're the fastest growing county for over 10 years
Right.
in New York State, and we will continue to be so. But we can only feed 30% of our population in New York State now with the land that's under production. And we're losing 2 farms a week in the state besides. So with this growing population, we need to be able to provide timber and provide food and water and keep all those things going. And we will attract talent to our area and businesses. And that's one of the reasons why some of the bigger businesses have looked to locate in Saratoga County, is because of the quality of life and the quality of place.
Well, that's really well said, by the way, because that's in striking that balance. Part of the reason a company would want to come into our counties is the idea that the lifestyle is so interesting and so diverse. You know, just a quick aside, I'm grateful every time I go up and look at Lake George because of the initiatives that people took a century ago to make certain that a lot of that land was preserved and conserved for different uses. This is a volunteer organization, and when I asked Maria that before we went on air, I thought, oh, she's going to tell me you got like 10 or 15 volunteers. How many volunteers do you have?
We have over 250 volunteers, from our board of directors to our trail stewards to our college interns, people who help us put together events and fundraisers, and we just, over 250 people find ways to help the organization. They might do photography or writing or lead educational trips or lend their expertise in botany or teach people how to kayak, take them on special places throughout the county to explore and get to know it.
Boy, I think that's great. Now, they really need donations. A lot of organizations do, I know, but this is an organization that is solely focused on conserving some of the most important aspects of what makes our life here unique. And toward that end, keep your eye out. Maria told me they make a bunch of smaller fundraisers throughout the year. You have one major one, but it passed a couple of months ago, right?
Right.
But you have a small one coming up, for instance.
Right. So one of the local restaurants, Crown Grill, will on next Tuesday night offer 15% of the bill will be donated back to Saratoga PLAN.
Great. Now we will give our viewers links to get to you. Please donate to this very worthy cause, and keep your eye out, because you'll see the little flyers in the windows and whatever that, you know, this is a fundraising event for PLAN.
That's right. That's where our operating budget comes from. And it takes years to get a landowner to the point where they're ready to commit and understand the process, because it is a permanent agreement that people make to conserve their land. So it's not something we take lightly or they take lightly.
Right.
So that is what the donations help cover all the time to get to that point of conserving that each and every acre.
Well, you know what? You've dedicated your life to a very noble cause. And plus you're herding cats with 250 volunteers, right?
That's right.
And you know they feel passionate about it or they wouldn't be volunteering.
That's right.
Well, best of luck to you. We'll have you in any number of times throughout the year just to get an update, new projects that you might be working on, but also anything that the public can do to help raise funds to continue the organization's work.
Thank you so much, Jesse.
All right, Maria, it's great to have you.
Okay.
To see this interview again, head to our website, looktvonline.com.